The Uncontrollables. Outrageous? Sometimes. Thoughtful? Maybe. Offensive? Probably. Fabulous? Always. All right, this week on The Uncontrollables, we have, as always, Josh Featherstone.
At least I showered.
Yeah, you didn't do a very good job. I can still smell you.
I didn't use soap. I just washed. Just a little rinse. It does.
And we also have Travis Wyke.
That's correct.
Did I say it right this time?
You did.
Sorry, Travis Week. Travis Week. We got Travis Week with us.
That's
this
all right,
week.
Mia.
Oh, son of a... And he is, I think, somebody that's of some importance to somebody somewhere, maybe just his kids. We don't know. Oh, yeah. You're the chair of the Henry County.
That's correct.
Libertarian Party.
Yes.
How many members do you have? 2, 3?
No, we have members. Okay, membership in the party is if you're part of the LPIN or National Party and live in Henry County. So we could have dozens of members. Active members, we have about half dozen.
So 6?
Also 6, you know.
And you guys only reaffiliated last year, correct?
Yep, June 6th.
June 6th. Was that before or after Shelby County?
That was before Shelby County, but props to Paul Gable because he's taken the reins and really showing.
Yeah, I don't see nearly as much as I from you guys. I see from Shelby County. I mean, you guys are kind of falling behind there.
No, I don't.
Are we gonna have to de-affiliate you?
No, I don't think we're falling behind. I just think Shelby County has the advantage of having an actual paid writer as their county chair, so the written word comes easy to him. Whereas
the spoken word does not. Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. I know you're listening to this, and you'll never be on We Are Libertarians, so stop trying. All right, so this week we're going to talk about a little bit about how Travis here is also a welfare whore. He's National Guard.
That's correct.
He's also a government contract, or he's a civilian contractor with the government at Camp Atterbury. So, we'll see if we can get him to slip up and say some classified information.
You want my blood type and my mother's maiden name too?
I just need your social security number. That's all I need. I can do everything else with that.
Oh, that's public information right there.
What? I was in the military for 2.5 years, and it got stolen, 3 times? So that's fun. We're also going to cover a little bit about the issues driving from being a libertarian and also being in the military and supporting the military-industrial complex. So we'll play around with that line of thought. And we're also going to talk about the Adam Kokesh Open Carry Civil Disobedience March on D.C. and the Dickbag Austin Peterson's March about the squirt guns on July 3rd.
Is that the actual headline, the Dickbag Austin Peterson's March?
I actually posted on Facebook the other day that I think I'll call him a dickbag, and I think like a fuckwit or something. And he actually ended up responding. I tagged his page in my post, and he personally came to my page and was like, "You seem like a dangerous individual and just never own a gun." So, yeah,
the Constitution says dangerous people shouldn't have guns.
It does. It says it right there. There's a little asterisk, and then you go down to the very bottom of the Constitution. There's except these people. So
right wingers, left wingers.
And right now, Josh isn't even here with us. He's reading something on his stupid tablet.
I'm reading about what we're going to be talking about.
Unprepared. He doesn't even follow news. I think he's about 6 months behind on everything. Did you know Hillary Clinton didn't win the election? She didn't get a Democratic nomination in 2008.
Who's that?
Ron Paul also didn't win the Republican nomination. I'm very upset about that. Can we talk about Ron Paul on your show?
Wait, I think this is actually the first time we've ever even mentioned Ron Paul on the show.
Oh, well,
we talk about Rand all the time. We haven't talked about Ron at all.
And they are not one and the same.
Oh, good Lord. I don't even think they're related.
There's no denying that boy. Have you seen the old pictures of him on the bike?
Yeah, he didn't look like a sellout. That usually carries over into, the facial structure. I'm a sellout, written on his face. All right, so first things first. You are in the military. You're National Guard. What's your job?
I'm a medic.
You're a medic.
Yeah, I'm a medic in the National Guard.
All right, so you're a medic in the military, and you're National Guard. What's your rank?
I'm a staff sergeant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're National Guard. That doesn't mean anything. They gave that to you because you were out of basic for 6 months or something, right? I think that's how that works for staffs.
No, they gave that to me because I don't know. I
If you can't
met all the
properly easily
requirements.
explain why you're a staff sergeant,
Well, I
you'd
can, but then
fail.
it goes.
Fail.
Well, I can, but then it goes into my specific unit and stuff like that.
Well, how long have you been in?
How long have I been in? 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, I've
You're only a
actually-
staff sergeant? I think they kicked people out of the active duty military that hadn't made tech by then. So
No, tech. Really? Air Force? The actual military? Okay, this is Army National Guard.
All right, active duty security forces versus and National Army medic.
That's
okay,
right.
Okay.
Right. How many hurricanes have you responded to?
One,
Which one?
Katrina.
Where?
I relieved the security forces members in Keesler Air Force Base during Katrina. So yeah, and I got an achievement medal and a humanitarian medal out of it because I grabbed a chainsaw from Red Horse and went around and cut up a bunch of stuff. All right, so you've been in for 7 years. How long have you considered yourself a libertarian?
Probably a little over a year, maybe 18 months. But it's been more like that's been like I finally found the label. I actually remember last summer before, something like that, mowing my yard, and I was pretty conservative up until that point, and I was thinking, the Republican Party has this right and they have this right, but why the hell can't they do, A, B, and C? Why does it have to be one way or the other? And those were the only two options I knew of, left or right. And then I got introduced to Ron Paul, so that would have been, 2008, I think, was when
His first run, yeah.
His first run, real big. And I think actually that was by way of Doug Stanhope back in 2008. And then Stanhope said, I'm not going to run, but I throw my support behind Ron Paul. And that really got me thinking. So I guess it's actually been about 4 or 5 years that I've been mulling the ideas around in my head of personal liberty, fiscal responsibility.
But just within
stuff like
a year or so, you found libertarianism and a libertarian party.
right, and I've been that's definitely the past year I've been active in it. But I've been looking at I've just been looking at how overreaching the government's gotten, how everything is tracked, tagged, and put in a little box. And
What would be your biggest beef with the government? What do you think is the biggest issue with the government we have right now?
trying to run our lives. I'm a parent also, and I hear all these horror stories, but the kids who can't take lunch to school because the school lunch is approved and has a stamp put on it. And my kids, we actually found a roundabout way of getting a doctor's statement that said our kids can go to school so we can monitor how much fiber they have and make sure they don't get too much milk or something like that. But otherwise, you can't take lunch to school in Henry County schools.
This is Henry County, Indiana, which
Yes.
is not a big town by any stretch of the imagination,
No.
and it's 2 counties away from Indianapolis on the east side, so it's mainly cornfields and unplanted cornfields.
What communities?
What communities are in Henry County?
Newcastle, Spiceland, Mount Summit, Kennard, part of Shirley.
So your biggest problem is micromanagement.
Absolutely, micromanagement, and really, I could kind of credit that to military because micromanagement is probably the worst thing you can do in any military organization. Just from my experience, let the people who you trust your, I guess, middlemen.
Are you saying the government isn't micromanaged?
No, I'm saying the government's over micromanaged.
Okay, what about the military? Are you saying it's not micromanaged?
In my experience, every unit's different, but good units don't micromanage. Good leaders, whether they be a company level or so on and so forth, state level, they don't micromanage. They trust the people who run in the units, the squads, and so the breakdown.
So how do you deal with the military? I mean, you're guard, so it's a little bit different experience. Have you ever done any active?
I was deployed for a year, 2008, 2009.
Okay, well that's even a little different too. Where'd you go?
I went to Balad in Iraq. It was basically a 10-month vacation. I got really good at Rock Band and
Wait,
Mario
you
Kart.
didn't get PTSD?
Oh, no, I probably have a little bit of PTSD. I think everyone who experiences a stressful situation gets some form of PTSD.
No, we're not going to get into PTSD again.
Maya just brought in a tray full of lovely little snacks and
treats and
these are
something. And I think we're all kind of like looking and they're I don't know. They are something with a French word, cru petit fours.
Are these
Is
hors
yummy what they
d'oeuvres?
are?
Are they hors d'oeuvres?
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I'm now sitting here talking with two of the dumbest people on the face of the planet. So, I kind of left out a little bit of that. Basically,
Should I not? Can I have one of these?
eat the crap out of them
Should
because
eat into
I
it?
will.
Can I
I'll
chomp
eat all
into
of
the
them.
mic? If I chomp into the mic, are you gonna edit it out? Oh my God, this is.
Yeah, we'll have foodie sounds.
Can you hear this? This is very moist. Very moist. It's like an Andy's mince with it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was so my aunt would be so proud of me.
My dad's recently retired, but my mom still works there. Food distributors or in the food brokers. So I've eaten. I used to live on veal chops.
Did this fall off the back of a truck?
No.
Is this second economy stuff?
No. These are samples.
Oh, fantastic. And I'm a welfare whore.
This is coming from companies. They want us to sample the products, and sometimes they send you a whole case of something. Mm-hmm. You only need one. So what do you do with the rest of it? You either donate it to Gleaners or you eat it.
Wow. Did you have one of these, Josh?
I just put one in my mouth. This is incredible. We've got a new topic for the show tonight.
Who's that Adam Kokesh guy? If he can't cook like this, I don't want none of it.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Can we have just another track of silence while we enjoy?
No, I think we need to go ahead and get our. This is worthy of you guys hearing, of all our listeners hearing what this sounds like. I'm putting something in my mouth right now. It's got a raspberry on it and something yellow, and it's got like a glaze. Other than that,
raspberry passion fruit barquette.
Point that at your mouth when you talk.
It's a raspberry passion fruit barquette.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to try a raspberry passion fruit barquette, and so are we ready for this? All right, do I put the raspberry or the passion fruit side in first?
Raspberry.
All right, we're going to do 2 bites first with the raspberry side. Oh, it's wonderful.
He's got this look in his eye. It's a faraway sort of thing. He's imagining a childhood memory.
Okay, so now we're going to go passion fruit. Maybe I should have just thrown this all in my mouth at once, let the flavors blend together, but I got the passion fruit in there now. Oh my God. I think I prefer the passion fruit side, but it was all awesome. Erection.
Mouthgasm.
I did. That was a full-blown mouthgasm. That was awesome.
Just now, imagine. You could get unlimited amounts of all kinds of stuff like this, nonstop. Is there any wonder? I really think I'm very good with self-control that I don't weigh 800 pounds.
J.A. Featherstone on Twitter. I got a picture of the yummy goodness on my Twitter about the mouthgasm, the holy box of mouthgasm that we have here that apparently Maya. Oh,
it's chocolate. Lots of chocolate.
Sao Petite chocolate barquette, I think.
Yeah, this is fantastic. It's like almost like a mousse on a soft pastry. I almost wish the pastry was maybe a little. I wish there was crunch, because for radio, crunch really sells. You have to, with it being soft and really delectable, you have to kind of smack, and I feel it's poor etiquette.
I'm going to hate editing this episode.
No, I don't think that any of this needs edited out. What's this green? What's this green? This is a chocolate. Oh, I see the word pistachio. I love me some pistachios.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to dive in here to a chocolate pistachio gatau. Is that the correct pronunciation?
Let's see here. Let me pull up.
Gatau. G-A-T-E-A-U. I'm not.
T-E-A-U, so it'd be gatau.
Gatau. I don't speak the foreign. Oh my God. I love pistachio and that.
It's got like some devil. It's on top of. It's on a devil's food.
Right.
Disc
with like a pistachio cream, and then like a little, little sliver of dark chocolate on top. And I'm not a guy that loves chocolate, but let me tell you, I could have 2 or 3 of these.
Well, I'm about to destroy the coffee macaroon, which is just it's this right here.
Oh, I had one of those earlier,
Yes.
Before we were deciding to
And
do commentary.
look at the pie crusting around the side. Look at that. Look at that.
what I
Oh,
was looking for,
look
is
at the delivery on this.
You're
The
going to have
looks.
mouthgasm.
Yeah.
This is maybe the best so far, I think.
Okay. Let me scarf this down. Oh my god.
Isn't that?
Oh my god.
Isn't that incredible?
I went ahead and I kind of snuck one while Maya was having one, and I just thought I'd be able to sneak it and not express any sort of.
It's like a pie.
Yeah, it's.
A miniature coffee cream
fantastic.
pie.
Right. I like. It's the first one I had. I think it's the best in the box so far.
It's very, very light. It's almost like you're biting through like a bunny's tail. I think.
Okay, what
Is
are they
it-
teaching you in the military?
Right.
man?
Right? Is the bunny laying turds right now? I'm gonna. All right. There's only one Oh no, there's two I haven't. There's still two I haven't tried here. I've not had the little chocolate thing.
Okay. That's you got the chocolate walnut one over here.
That looks really good.
You
yeah.
already had the Grand Marnier
Grand Marnier.
Marnier.
Grand Mariner. Grand Mariner.
Shut up. I'm thinking of fish.
Grand Mariner.
Salambo? And that's kind of like an eclair, but with the cream on top.
Oh, it was good.
And go ahead and do the walnut. No, usually you're not a huge fan of chocolate, so do the uber chocolate one.
You want me to do Uber chocolate?
Do
all right,
Uber chocolate.
All right, this is
Chocolate
this is chocolate upon a chocolate upon, and this is the kind of chocolate I don't like. I can handle chocolate normally if it's like a compliment to other flavors.
That's
but
a
chocolate
very
on
strong.
chocolate on chocolate is not normally my thing. So I don't know how I'll do with this, but there's a whole shitload of chocolate.
It wasn't my favorite.
It's not bad. It's not my thing, but it's enjoyable.
So
I couldn't sit here and have several of them.
So that you're doing the passion fruit.
I'm doing the passion
It's really
fruit.
rich. Holy crap! All right, I did it side by side.
I'm gonna do
Why
the
don't
whole
you-
thing at once.
Yeah, let's combine the flavors here.
Oh, it just what's the green shit? I don't know what the green shit is, but I'm gonna eat it.
It's parsley.
Oh, it's not parsley. I'll tell you that one.
That one's pretty good. I like that one.
Oh, mixing the two together, the raspberry and the passion fruit complement each other wonderfully.
I bet. I came in instead of coming in from either end. I should have come in from one side or the other and got.
Now, what's this? The chocolate walnut. What did we decide? Gâteau.
Right. Whatever word makes it sound as stupid as possible is what we're going to go with.
So this almost looks like what would you say? It's
Like a pound cake
Like
with
a-
chocolate icing.
chocolate icing swirl. Well, the pound cake's got sort of maybe like a pecan almost.
Yeah, it's got some kind of nut in it.
And it's a whole
I'm going to get this walnut also.
walnut right on top. And I'm going to do this as one bite.
Oh, I think
I
that's
don't
the way
wanna-
you got to take
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Okay, here we go. Let's try
Put
this
it all
one.
in there.
That's more of a spongy cake.
Oh, the walnut, the kind of crisp of the walnut is fantastic against the sponge cake is actually very soft. It's almost like a
Angel food cake?
no, not like an angel food cake. What's the dessert you get where you get lady fingers and then they put coffee on it? Tiramisu.
Oh,
All I know is you talking about.
Tiramisu with a walnut on top, and the crisp of the walnut is really fantastic.
I'm really digging you talking about cramming spongy nuts into your mouth all at once.
oh.
It's given me an idea. I think I want some spongy nuts in my mouth. I haven't had one of these yet. All right, so spongy chocolate nuts. All right. Oh yeah, this. I tell you what, I haven't put this in my mouth yet. I just like the way this feels. I'm tickling
Oh,
it with
yeah.
my fingertips a
Yeah.
little bit.
It does. It's very tactile. Cake.
Do I do this all at once, or can I?
All at once.
Can I just tease it?
No, all at once.
Tip.
Deep throat it.
Oh, okay. So don't chew. Just put it in there. All right. So I've got the spongy nuts in my mouth right now, but I'm trying not to use my teeth. Oh my god, that's really good spongy nut stuff. I ended up using my teeth, but I think it was all right. I still got pleasure out of it.
That's not what she said.
As long as you got pleasure out of it, I think that's all that matters.
All right.
So this show has degraded down to a food show.
Brought to you by
Sweet street desserts.
Sweet stream.
Petite Ford.
Right.
You see they've got a tagline: "Welcome to Luscious."
Welcome to Luscious, and
You guys title your
I'm not leaving.
No, I've had many different things from this company, and they make these red velvet cupcakes, and the Cheesecake Factory made some pretty damn good cupcakes. I'm gonna say that Sweet Street does better.
This is pretty enjoyable. We definitely got a sugar fix going.
Now what's behind here?
Right, now we got another box.
Cinnamon and sugar scones.
Oh, scones.
You're gonna want plates for these.
Okay.
Oh, no, we got to get plates out.
Squeak gonna do on the? Are you gonna edit out the squeak?
All right, this
Well,
is a styrofoam
this part
plate.
of this part of the show is not going to get edited. This is going to actually be part of the show.
Okay.
Because we are the Uncontrollables, so who the hell knows what we're going to do or talk about?
I'm going to
so.
get me a scone. Oh, my gosh, this is a sticky sweet. Oh, my gosh, look at the, like.
We don't get a fork? You don't do forks?
No.
You don't need a fork. I'll get you some paper towels, though, because you
Man
guys
up,
are
National
dirty.
Guard.
Yeah, I'm National Guard. I'm a medic. I gave a class to these infantry guys. I'm like, hey, if your feet hurt, put on moleskin to decrease pressure points and blisters, so it makes my job easier. Their instructors, who are these grizzled infantrymen, go, if you get a blister, just stomp on your foot really hard and the blister goes away. I'm like, well, that's fine. I'll put moleskin on and drive in my ambulance, because that's a different mentality. And that being said, I would like a fork instead of eating with my fingers.
I will get you a fork, and I will get you.
All right, so we've got. What the fork is wrong with you? I'm sorry, that was a bad joke, dude.
Hold on.
Can,
Just put it,
can you
put it
fork
back down.
give me?
I'll get you a fork. Hold on.
Please, do it spoon. It'd be really nice of you.
I was going to do that. You took that one. I was busy eating the scone with my fingers.
Hey guys, this is Rupert from Survivor, and you're listening to The Uncontrollables.
Hey there, Rupert. How about you tell us a little bit about Rupert's kids?
For the last 22 years, we've been running a mentoring program teaching young men and women how to have that sense of self-worth, that work ethic, how to get themselves out of the system, out of trouble, and make that legal living. Check it out, rupertskids.org.
Is it true that the charity doesn't take any state, federal, or local government monies?
We have never in 22 years taken a government dollar, no city, state, federal funding. We do not even take grant dollars. If people want to donate to us, it's because they want to give money to help their community.
And Rupert, what is pirate for donate?
Or is pirate for don't forget to donate.
I want to move on to the next topic because we're going to run out of time. And we're going to have Travis back on because this little rat bastard just loves egging me on. And it somehow has made Josh, who is barely participated in this episode, start to gang up on me. So he made notes, and he has this little tablet that's like 800 years old running like Android 1.1. Well, we're going to have Travis back on because we only have an hour, and this is supposed to be a recurring show, so you should actually be looking forward to more episodes and with Travis week back on. So we're going to talk about the
We're going to PTSD from this episode.
That is a possibility. I will give you mental disorders by just being around you. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the Adam Kokesh armed march on Washington.
All right, so you want to talk about Adam Kokesh.
On July 4th, Adam Kokesh has organized a open carry armed march in D.C., where it's illegal to open carry loaded weapons. And it's going to be July 4th, and we're going to meet in somewhere, and then we're going to walk across the little bridge. And since it's been publicized so far out, and we've already got, 3,000 people saying they're going to go to the Facebook event?
Yeah, I tell you what. 3,164 is the current count, including you and Chris Galt. You know how this will be. Large majority of the going people are not going to be goers. They're going to be just supporters. They're clicking like to support.
What he said is once we get to 10,000 people saying they're going to go on there, we're reasonably expecting 1,000 people to actually show up.
Right.
So,
and right now it sounds like this is green light. I mean, there's enough support right now, and we're still a couple months out that there's not much chance that this event's not going to. Yeah. I
mean, and Adam Kokesh says he's going to stand up there and he's going to cross that line. Now he
and
also
actually,
says
it says right here's blah blah blah. We'll come back. I got his quote from what
he says if we run into physical resistance, we will peacefully turn around and walk away.
All right, update 130506. It is now undeniable that this is going to happen. Allow me to make clear how. There will be coordination with D.C. law enforcement prior to the event. I recommend that they do the best that they can to honor their oaths and escort us on the route. Failing to provide that commitment to safety, we will either be informed that we will be only allowed up to a certain point where after which we would be arrested. If this is the case, we will approach that point as a group, and if necessary, I will proceed to volunteer myself to determine what their actual course of action with someone crossing the line will actually be. And then he says, at that point in time, if anyone else wants to follow me, whatever.
I will be, and I'll tell you right now, I'm going to this event. I will be driving to D.C. with throwaway weapons that are, just junk weapons that I don't care about. So if they get confiscated, I don't care. But I'm going to literally, if there's nobody else up there with Adam Kokesh, which I know there will be, I will be with the group that's walking side by side with Adam Kokesh across that bridge, across that line, and to whatever may be there. Quick note. If you guys want to go, I'm taking a car, and I know some people that want to rent a van to go. Let me know.
All right, so what kind of weapon? All right, so they're talking about rifles slung across their backs. I've not seen any indication in any of the websites or Facebook pages yet of any other kind of weapon. The only thing that I've seen talked about is rifles.
It's not necessarily just rifles. They want long guns, not just handguns. They want long guns.
Why?
Those are the big scary things. People are like, "Oh yeah, you can have pistols
so
and you can have a hunting rifle."
So it's purely for the image. I wasn't sure if there was a legality issue with the DC gun laws.
I mean they'd really like. Well, no, I mean it's almost impossible to even own a freaking long gun in DC. But the point where we'd like to see everyone carry the quote unquote assault rifles. What would have been banned in that newest bill is because saying, hey, look, there's 1,000 highly armed, peaceful people. And, and what I really want to talk about is not necessarily that, is the people and the reasons why they're saying we shouldn't do this. They're saying we should go with unloaded weapons. They're saying we should go with unarmed. They're saying we shouldn't do this at all. That, people are so goddamn afraid of the government that they're like, this is going to cause massive backlash, and this is going to give them the reason they want to pass gun control bills.
I tell you what, it just depends on how this event comes out. I'm not sure I'm a 100% supporter of this event.
You know what? It's okay. Constitutionally, we have the right to carry weapons.
I know.
Constitutionally. So, civil disobedience and what this country has found is if there's a bad law, you break that law until it's changed. You don't just ignore it until you can maybe get a bill passed.
I'm not concerned about the bad law. I'm concerned about the I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be.
If we have to fear 1,000 liberty-oriented people marching somewhere, if we have to fear that, what's just give up? What's just give up?
But
what's banned?
Here's the thing, Maya. You know as well as I do that you'll be there, and as nutcase as some people may think you are, I trust you with a firearm sitting next to me, and I trust your handling of a gun. I trust most people's handling of a gun. You are inevitably going to get some people at this event that are going to be the kind of people that give guns a bad rap.
But you know
what? If shit goes down, I agree, it will backfire. If shit goes down, it's going to go the wrong way for us.
No, that's the thing I'm trying to say is if you're afraid of this backfiring, if you're afraid of the government being so powerful that if a couple stupid people do something wrong, it ruins the fun for everybody, let's go ahead right now. If you're afraid of that, I want you to just say out loud, I give up. I'm going to go turn in my guns tomorrow. I'm going to go turn in my permit, and I will never, ever own a weapon ever again in my life. I want you, if you're afraid of this going wrong because you're so afraid of the government that
it's not a matter of people.
That's to fear the power of the people. If you're afraid of people, how about you just become a hermit and never leave your house? If you're afraid of a couple people with guns, they already have the guns and they're already crazy. If it's only you're afraid of them going to D.C. for a march and you're worried about what they're going to do, then it's done. It's over.
You know how
we need to have gun control then. We need to have gun control. If that's your fear,
is going to react to this.
If that's the case, if we're worried about how society and the media and the government's going to treat this, let's go ahead and have gun control right now. Let's make the libertarian platform, political platform, and fight for the Republican platform be absolute gun control. If we're that afraid that we can't do our own individual human rights and practice, even the constitutionally protected rights, by walking down the freaking Capitol of the United States street with a gun, then let's just go ahead and give up. If we're so afraid of that, and who cares who's starting it and who's doing it, that we're exercising human goddamn rights, and we're afraid of the fallout.
All right, and once again, I'm not completely against this event. I am concerned about the outcome, I'm concerned about the reaction to the outcome. I'm more support this event than the Austin Peterson event. I think that's stupid. Talk about going to go carry a bunch of water guns around DC.
The Austin Peterson, the little shit bag. He's saying on July 3rd he's actually getting a permit and everything, because we're not getting a permit because we have the right to peacefully assemble. Hello, First Amendment. So we're not going to get a permit. I don't know if you're not going to get a permit, because now I'll tell you what. He said he's going to work with the community. He's going to work with them to what their oath is, to provide safety and protection, to protect us and everyone else. That's what he's talking about. He hasn't contacted them yet. Now, Austin Peterson's going to get a permit and everything else. And Adam Kokesh has said already in other places that he is not going to get a permit. But Austin Peterson is going to have a march the day before and carry water guns and Nerf guns, and then go to the mall and have a giant water gun, Nerf gun fight. And he's making fun of people, and he's coming out and basically saying, if you go to the July 4th event, you're a violent criminal, and you're a bad person, you're against liberty. Because he's saying that if you're really peaceable, if you're really a peace activist, you wouldn't carry a loaded gun. Now, God damn it, how much sense does that make? So he's saying it, and so many other people are backing up what he's saying, and other people are saying it, and it's not just him, because he's not that big. And they're saying they're saying that people are going to carry a loaded weapon are instantly looking for violence. I carry a loaded weapon on my hip every single day, sometimes 2. Sometimes I have 3 weapons. I have a knife, or I have an axe. Who knows how many weapons I have on me at any one point in time? Not to mention I'm trained. So am I instantly going around and looking for weapons?
Careful with the talking about how it's okay because you're trained, because you know what that can of worms you're trying to open there.
No, because you took another thing I said out of context again, is that I'm trained in combat. I have hand-to-hand combat training. So I guess I need to clarify around you piss ants. So, but these people are saying if you have a loaded gun, you are instantly looking for violence. And I go around all the time. I don't look for violence. I don't think anyone that listens to the show or knows me in the past couple of years has ever seen me actually do anything truly violent against anyone. They don't know everything, so who knows? But so it's Austin Peters making a mockery, and they're saying, there's a guy, and he says he believes in Second Amendment rights and something else, but he's making a mockery of how other people are deciding to protest or assert their rights. So he gets to make fun of them, and that's okay. That he's working against the other event, actively working against the other event, and he's trying to agitate people. How is that okay? How are people not ripping Austin Peterson to shreds for being a little bastard?
Well, what I would worry about on the July 3rd event, first off, is that while he's out with water guns and Nerf guns, that somebody takes the opportunity to do another mall shooting like we had out west.
What happens if somebody puts acid in their squirt gun?
Or
maybe somebody puts some kind of horrible chemical in the squirt gun or bleach and squirts in somebody's eyes.
No, absolutely.
What happens if somebody does that? They could put gasoline in it and turn it into a flamethrower. You could put all kinds of stuff.
I think it would melt the.
You could actually make explosive Nerf gun darts. Maybe you stick needles in the ends of them. Those are just as dangerous.
No,
you
absolutely.
can hurt people with that stuff. So
now, I want to go back to basically you inferred that because you're trained in a firearm that.
No, I did not infer that. I said I meant when I said trained, I'm combat trained. I'm a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've done grappling. I've taken mixed martial arts. I was meant to say hand-to-hand combat trained, not weapon trained. That means nothing.
Do you think weapons training should be sort of a criterion for open carrying or having a CNC?
Who sets what how much? Because I've trained on EOD courses.
Right.
I have hundreds and hundreds of close quarters combat training. I have live fire training, sim round, lasers, blanks. Right. I have training in so many different things. And I knew how to handle a weapon and fire it and be safe with it long before I went in the military. You know who trained me? My community, the people that handed me guns before I had the ability to buy them, and parents in the community. There's no real way to set the standard, because with any kind of standard you set, it gets to the point where the bar gets set too high. So
what about this? I'm going to quote the Second Amendment just so you're not sidetracked.
If you bring up the well-regulated part, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Do we just pick and choose what parts of the Constitution we use?
I'm not going to.
I know people who pick and choose what parts of the Bible they use.
Now,
so
hold on.
Are we going to do that with the Constitution now?
Now,
if we're going to accept shall not be infringed, then we should accept.
Look, I turned off your mic.
Oh my God, that's a twofer.
That's a twofer because
Is this the Republican National Committee over here?
I'm being treated.
I'd like to nominate Ron Paul.
I feel like I'm talking to Republicans,
Really?
and I'm a Democrat somehow. I don't get that. Taking things out of context and throwing things out.
I'm asking you.
Now, we need to have a Second Amendment show where we talk about the breakdown of the Second Amendment and how the well-regulated thing. Okay, a regulation, right? It's a restriction, a test you must pass to do something, right? That's what a
Right.
regulation is, right?
Right.
Now, at the end of that Second Amendment, what are the last words?
Shall not be infringed.
So if a regulation's a restriction, how can something not be infringed and be regulated? Okay, answer that question.
So you're saying that
No, so you're saying
paradox?
No, you're saying that the Second Amendment is just
The Second Amendment
free-for-all?
talks 2 points. Just
Right.
like the First Amendment's not just about free speech.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
It's many things.
There's
but
2
there's
points.
a semicolon in the First Amendment.
The
to
Second
separate
Amendment
The list.
is talking about having a well-regulated militia, which is an actual, and in the terminology of the day, and what a militia
Right.
was basically National Guard.
Yes.
Or a civilian base, something like that.
Right. The state militia.
But it's also
right.
stating that it's a fundamental human right to self-defense.
Right. The right of the people
And
to keep
arms.
and bear
Arms doesn't mean just guns. Arm means
Knives,
weapons.
Right.
Anything
Anything you can feasibly hold yourself.
No, not even feasibly hold yourself.
So you think the right to keep and bear arms could be a tank?
Human right. Fundamental human right to self-defense. If the people you're afraid of hurting you have tanks, you can have a bigger tank.
Right, but do you consider that bearing arms?
Yes, that's a fundamental right to self-defense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, when you talk about the NAP and everything else, nuclear arms, we're not going to even get into that because I know dumb people say that. Nuclear arms have
Collateral damage.
collateral damage, yeah.
Right.
And so that breaks the NAP because you can't precision a nuclear bomb. Now, I'm not saying you can't own nuclear bombs because there's many uses you could have for a type of nuclear arm or nuclear devices. But so the Second
Instant
Amendment, the
suntan.
well-regulated thing, doesn't apply to regulations because you read well-regulated, but at the end shall not be infringed. It's talking about 2 completely different things. And the Constitution doesn't apply to people. That Constitution does not apply to me and you. It applies to the government,
Right.
which is saying that the right to bear arms, whatever those may be, shall not be infringed. Carry permits, infringement. Regulations on gun manufacturers, infringements. Basically everything, any law there is with guns.
So all the stink around the 3D printed plastic gun, basically, that the Liberator, I believe is what it was called.
Yeah.
Okay. So all the stuff that happened up until the point where he actually fired it, all the ATF stuff and putting the pressure on the
Infringement. Wrong.
Okay.
So it's just like Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, which technically means is Congress can't pass a law that says anything about religion. Now, Congress can pass a law that says these people can be protected from religious people, and Congress can pass a law that says we shall not instill a Sharia law in this country. They can pass things like that. They can't pass a law saying, well, we're only going to allow these 3 sects of Christianity out of the 33,000 sects there are, or you can only build a church this big. Now, you can even go to say that, like building codes and shit, but that's a completely different story, and it's really big, and it's getting me off topic.
So, well, now you're saying, so the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. Okay, the Second Amendment right for the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed to the federal government. But what about the D.C.? What about the cities? What about those areas when they say, we don't the voters themselves decide we don't feel comfortable with somebody walking around with a shotgun or an AK or something like that.
I don't care. People feel uncomfortable about my existence.
I'll agree with Maya on that one for sure. When we developed the Constitution, it did a couple things. It laid out what rights the citizens definitely had, and it also laid out what limitations the government supposedly definitely had. Now, and then
quick,
it knew
to qualify. It does not grant rights. It lays out it documents what the known and popular rights are.
So, and it knew, or the founding fathers, and I hate people that invoke the founding fathers and everything, so that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, when they wrote this document, they understood very well that this document was not all-encompassing, and that it possibly was going to need changed throughout time. And part of what they wrote was, you want to start talking about the amendments, was the 10th Amendment, which to get, I want to make sure the wording. Right. Yeah. I don't want to say it wrongly. And I am a big fan of the 10th Amendment. It's the thing that I think most defines the federal government. It's a very simple. It's one sentence. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So from that point of view, what the point you're trying to make about the people in the cities trying to pass a law, I can see you trying to come like that, except for earlier it's already said that this is a right of the people. And so when it is one of the powers delegated to the people by the Constitution, which is the reasons the states can't come in and pull back from that.
And that's the same the same argument you can use for gay marriage and how states can't ban gay marriage or can't ban two consenting adults or more from coming together. I don't want to say gay marriage because that's a whole ball of wax, but can't ban contract law between two individuals or more. Now, and that's the thing is that and I don't want to even harp on the Constitution. I'm an anarchist. I didn't sign the Constitution. I did not sign that contract. I've never voted. I have not legitimized the state. I have not agreed to these laws, to these rules. I was born here, and I have a fundamental human right to many different things. Not health care, not all that crap.
Not high-speed internet.
Life, liberty, and property. The non-aggression principle. That's that simple. I'm being infringed upon constantly. And so now I'm also getting attacked by other people that supposedly believe in things that I do for wanting to assert fundamental human rights. And that's what we're doing here. You can have all the laws in the world. Adam Kokesh is a voluntarist like I am. We don't agree with the state. He got arrested for dancing at the Jefferson Memorial. He got chokeslammed to the ground. And that's what he's doing here. He's saying, hey, people, look, we have fundamental rights as human beings. Just for being a human being, we have these rights. Not because of the Constitution, not because of some politician, not because of Rand Paul, not because of Ron Paul. We have these rights because we're human, and we must exercise them. I don't care what the law is. I don't care what anything else is. We have these rights. They're ours, and if we do not exercise them, we will lose them. And that's exactly what's happened over time is we have not exercised our rights as individuals and as human beings, and we've lost them. Now, you look at this, and like I said earlier, people are scared to death. Austin Peterson's scared to death of what happens when people exercise their rights.
Now, you're saying because we didn't exercise our rights, we lost them. That's what you said.
Yes.
So you're encouraging people to go out and vote so that they can exercise their rights to vote and legitimate the state.
I discourage people from voting. What I do is if people are going to be thick-headed and vote, but that's why I work with the Libertarian Party,
right.
Is that if people are going to continue to vote and they're not going to listen to me yet or listen to reason yet, not necessarily me because I don't always articulate things well, if they're not going to listen to reason and they're still going to vote, I'm going to give them the best options possible that make my life less of a living hell. Basically, I'm working all aspects I can while still being self-moral and saying I've done everything I possibly can because I'm not 100% sure that maybe we can't change the government, dismantle it from the inside, or maybe we can use libertarianism and Libertarian Party to create a divide and slow down, or maybe weaken the government to the point where not necessarily change it, weaken it till we can break it down. But so I don't advocate voting. I don't, not at all. I just know people are going to continue voting, and so I'm going to try to direct them in a better route to hopefully help them wake up the same way I woke up.
Well, and I look at that because I'm not an anarchist. I do vote.
Yet.
Because I look at it that I look at the reality that we have. You prefer to open carry, and I look at that as if there are people who don't want you to open carry, and they are going to vote, and you're not, so their voice is going to be heard by the state that legitimizes that power, and then they could take away your right to open carry. Or now, they could try, and then you could get fined, go to jail,
die.
Or die, and that's your choice, and you can do that. But you have lost that right by not voting. So if you can get more people to vote for the things that you like, then that's cool. But that's sort of like ad hoc voting.
No.
I'm not going to vote, but I'm going to get 6 other people to vote against those 5 people.
But remember, I'm not advocating people vote. What I do is I work with candidates in a party to provide better material to vote for, because I know I can't convince everyone not to vote. So I'm not advocating new voters. That's not what I do. I advocate
people who live in the system to
I
go ahead. I
advocate people to not vote, but I want to provide people that already play in the system something more along the lines that I care about. So
I can understand that.
And what you're saying with the whole voting thing, anyways, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. If you don't vote, you're just standing outside. No. That's not the case. That applies to people that don't vote and then don't do diddly squat else. Right. I play black markets, gray markets. I activist. I do a million things. I'm going to D.C. and that's what we're talking about is this march. So Austin Peterson and all these other people are making fun of it, are basically slandering it and trying to diminish it. And they're begging the government for permission to do this, and they're playing by the government's rules and everything else. Since when did playing by the rules ever win us a struggle in the government? Have you ever heard of that? Of playing by the rules and winning. Now, I'm talking about an actual win.
So they're not playing by the rules, so you think that they shouldn't be because that's how they win? I mean, at some point in time, the tables can get turned on your argument where you're saying who wins by playing by the rules. Well,
okay, let me clarify. A bad law or an unconstitutional law or a wrong law. But one thing though is the black chick should have never sat at the front of the bus. Women should have never marched on the streets without permits and everything else to get the right to vote. Black people should have just stayed behind the fire hose and stayed at the little drinking fountain until they got enough people elected. They should have just waited. But back to the protest is that the one thing I want to get out of this protest is that I want to see it be a historical landmark showing July 4th, 2013 was the final proof to show that we are no longer a constitutional republic. We no longer have a government that fears its people like it should. We no longer have individual liberty. We no longer have the right to bear arms uninfringed. We no longer have the rights to free speech. We no longer have the 10th Amendment. We no longer have the 5th Amendment. We no longer have the 4th Amendment. We can prove undeniably with one march, and even if it doesn't, even if it goes perfectly and swell, it can still prove and be a nice little stamp in the history book saying we proved without a doubt that in 2013, July 4th, we showed the world that America has stopped being the land of the free, and we no longer have any rights. When you talk about defeating a gun bill, you're full of shit.
Hold on.
We haven't defeated anything.
What do you want to see happen?
You were just going off right there. Here's what I thought in my mind. I think you just talked me out of any thoughts that I had of supporting this. I think that's what you just did, because here's what I see. I see if everything goes absolutely perfectly, nothing will change because of it. And therefore, if things go less than perfectly, the only thing that can happen is negative.
Right.
No.
What are they saying? V for Vendetta. What do we expect to happen? The same thing that happens when people without guns go up against people with guns, and at the end, at the climax of the movie, the guards stepped out of the way and all the people kept their peaceful protest. Except at this one, there will be people with guns and people with guns. So what do you want to see happen?
I already said what I want to see happen. It's an educational event. It's proving the point. It's no different than when people do strikes and do everything else. It's to show how bad things are. It's to wake people up. It's a wake-up moment is what it is. And that's what I want to see out of it. And that's what we're going to get. Either way, we're going to see either 1,000 perfectly safe individuals get mowed down or arrested or beat up or whatever by the police thugs, or we're going to see 1,000 people march through and we're going to see the media. We're going to see everyone else. And you know what? I don't care about the entire country. I don't. Half the country's always going to be asleep and blindly taking their government handouts and sucking the teat. There's another great portion of people who always love government in the country. But I want to just say that I was there and I helped show and prove that we in 2013 are absolutely
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to having my own show after you go to DC.
Yeah, I mean, there's
live stream it because you probably won't be able to upload it on the 5th.
There's a real literal possibility I'll get arrested. There's a real possibility that I can get killed.
Right.
There's a real possibility I can get in a wreck on the way there. There's actually a possibility I can get in a wreck and die on the way home. Oh my God,
I
life
think you
is
actually
scary.
have a better chance of dying in a car wreck than getting shot. No. And here's the thing: if there are police, if there are National Guardsmen, if there are active duty, if there are armed agents of the state standing at the city line, and then you have 1,000 well-trained or trained, hopefully, armed individuals marching towards them, and I don't think there will be a mowing down. I don't ever see them peacefully. I think what would happen is if someone pulled a gun and initiated violence, then you would have this like very bloody encounter. I think is one of the possibilities that could happen. And you could say, well, see, here's what happens. You'll have people in Washington, D.C. who don't want guns to say, here's what happens when people have guns. And then you have people in America who go, and here's what happens when the government tries to take our guns and infringe upon our rights and whatnot. So
either one of those scenarios is a positive scenario.
You consider that a positive scenario, or you could have where they stand aside. Just like, and I pull up, in my head, I pull up Facebook pictures because that's my life, but the picture of the black police officer who's standing guard at a Ku Klux Klan rally. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't agree with the message they're having, but he's supporting their First Amendment right to peacefully assemble and speak their message. So you could have agents of the state stand back and protect the 1,000 armed individuals here who are being non-aggressive, and the public from each other, and protecting them in their own right. And what do you think that would show? Do you think that would show? I could say the proponents of the Second Amendment right and of the march would say it shows that we beat the government, or it could show the government saying, "See, you still got rights."
Either way, this isn't a one-day event. This event has already started. This event is already being effectual, and it's going to be long afterwards. You're going to watch how people react. You're going to know who true individuals are. You're going to know who aren't.
This event will have been forgotten by August 1st.
It may
the
not
actual
even be covered.
event?
It may not even be covered unless it's a bloodbath. It won't get covered by
no. I mean,
CNBC,
it'll
Fox
get covered
News.
And twisted. Now hold on.
It might be covered by RT, by was it Russia Times or whatever.
RT News.
Yeah, RT News might cover it. Okay,
No,
it'll be all over YouTube. But will the mainstream media cover it?
I don't give a shit. That's
Then
the
will the
point.
half of the people who aren't plugged into the internet?
Didn't I already tell you that I already don't give a shit about the entire country? Didn't I already state that? I think most people that listen to this already know that. I don't care. We want this and need this for the people that it affects actually is to show other people out there that are maybe on the fence, that maybe feel left out or alone, that there's 1,000 people willing to assert their individual human rights. This isn't for everybody. This is, I don't care if it's remembered, if it's all over the news or everything else. No matter what happens, it will have a greatly desired effect to really stamp in the stone and push a lot of people over the fence on where this country is at. It will help wake up many, many people that are plugged in and go, holy shit, I've been kind of easy on this. Or holy shit, it's way worse than I thought it was. So I don't care about the mainstream news. They're never going to be right. And they're never going to cover anything correctly, if at all. So you guys are coming from this completely retarded standpoint. It's about who it's going to affect. And it's going to affect people like us, political people, and it's going to show one way or the other where exactly we're at.
So that's what you want to see. You just want to see...
Like I said, this is a stamp in a history book.
So whatever happens after that, whatever the stamp shows, you want it to be there. And as a...
This is a nice marker. This will be a very nice marker to show exactly what happens. Maybe the government uses agent provocateurs. Yes, Josh just showed me a picture that says stress is caused by giving a beep, and it's very true. So it's not about that. And so we're gonna start wrapping up here. But it's the final thing on this is this event is gonna happen. I'm gonna be there. And like I said earlier, if you're afraid of the outcome of this event, please go turn in all your guns tomorrow. Go ahead and make sure you register to vote for one of the one half of the major party in this country. Make sure you vote every November. Make sure you turn on your TV every night and watch Dancing with the Stars. And like I said, turn in your guns, turn in your bullets, turn in any pointy knives. Make sure you use like little plastic covers to cover all the light sockets in your house. And just go ahead and be a good little citizen. And then also get off Facebook and just maybe go play in traffic or something because you're a worthless waste of human space. So
guys, I'm J.A. Featherstone on Twitter. Please check out the Uncontrollables Facebook page. Also, if you follow Maya or myself on Twitter, we're going to have some links up that if you scroll back, you can find. We'll have some links to the Facebook events for both the July 3rd and July 4th event in D.C. We'll have a link up to not only the Service Members Funeral Relief Fund's Twitter page, but also their actual website, which I believe is smfrf.org. Yes. All right, so make sure you check that out, even though Maya disagrees. Maybe a good organization for you to throw some money their way. .com. I'm sorry, smfrf.com, smfrf.com. Of course, you drop a little money your way at creatingmaya.com. Buy this girl some boobs.
Yeah, remember, people, my PayPal is afbound. It's Alpha Foxtrot Bravo Oscar Uniform November Delta 905 at yahoo.com.
And we're here on Indiana Talks,
which is a great network. Go to indianatalks.com and you can listen to all kinds of cool shows because you're probably already here. This show is also archived on you can go to iTunes and check us out. Give us a nice 5-star rating if you would.
We are Libertarians.
We are Libertarians are on there. Actually, my other podcast, Creating Maya, is on there, and you can. I have a new domain name. You can go to the Uncontrollables.com and reach the page that has all the archived episodes. I usually do it 2 days afterwards, after the encore show is already played on Indiana Talks. I'll upload these shows, and you can go there and you can share them and make your friends listen to them 100 million times. And let's
Travis
see here.
Weik's our guest tonight. Was our guest tonight. Absolutely
Weik,
wonderful.
Weik.
So anything else that Travis you want to shoot for our listeners? Anything else they need to be checking out?
This is we just got done with Autism Awareness Month. My son has autism, so just be aware and learn a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, and that's truly inspiring because I would not be able to handle that. I'd absolutely lose my shit. So definitely mad props to you, and stay in the military for as long as you can because it's. The medical community out there sucks. Well, not the community, but the prices. And I'm not going to ever give you... the only shit I ever give at Travis here is because he's National Guard and I was active duty. And so, of course, I'm going to give him shit. But, I'm not going to give him shit for being in the military because, hey, it's rough out there. He's got a family. He's got a special needs kids. Well, I'm not gonna. People like Travis are the last people I'm gonna go after. Those will be like the last ones I'm gonna give shit about that. Other than giving a hard time. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Right. Come back and be with us again.
We have 2 episodes worth of material I got out of this one, and so I'll end up chopping some stuff up, moving around, and we'll have another episode with Travis, and we'll have Travis back on because if whoever's listening to it, he gives me shit and he doesn't shut up. He's not easily intimidated like most of my other guests. And so next time I'll be more prepared for that, and I'll absolutely smash the living shit out of his soul. Thanks for listening, guys. And remember, check out Indiana Talks and give Gary Snyder's show's page a like on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, Creating Maya and the Uncontrollables. Follow us on Facebook. Other than that, have a good one.